Make some noise for Finn Jacob! I'm from a town called Cockermouth. Known by the locals as Nobbergob. It's actually in Cumbria. I know the first guy talks about Cumbria a lot, so I'll keep it simple. It's basically a very rural, remote place. It's the sort of place where people refer to their sisters as a sylph. And I have seen the first guy's sister, and she is... No, it's all good fun. But when I left secondary school in Cockermouth, my head teacher, he said to me, Finn, whatever you end up doing, just remember, the more you put in, the more you get out. And ever since then, I've had a pretty bad gambling problem. I've got a proper job now. It's insurance. It's very grown up. Everybody they're very old, and I don't really fit in. That became clear with my first proper meeting with all the senior executives. We're going through a client's portfolio. I can't give you the full name, but the first name of the client was Jeff. And I saw that when I walked into the boardroom. And I thought, right, this will make a good impression. This will get him. My name is Jeff. It got nothing. Well, actually, it got me a written warning, but still. I've started cycling to work. I thought that would be a good idea, but cycling it's pretty dangerous. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's kind of why it's exclusively done by children or entitled middle-class people who can't afford a car but would rather risk being underneath a bus than on one. But they told me it would save money, which is absolute bollocks, because although you don't have to pay for a bus, what they don't tell you is you've got to buy a bike, you've got to buy a lock, you've got to buy a helmet, you've got to buy lights, you've got to buy high-vis, and then because it's Liverpool, you've got to buy another bike, a new lock, another bike, a new lock, another bike, a new lock, and another bike and a new lock. But the clothes as well, Lycra. I bought some Lycra. Yeah, I didn't know what Lycra was. I think they sent me the wrong size because it's so tight. But yeah, Lycra. I'm not calling it gay, but I feel like if I got hit by a bus and died in my Lycra, when I got to the pearly gates, I think they'd be like, "I think you want Heaven the nightclub." It's on Victoria Street, yeah. We don't let your kind in here anyway, but... I've checked, and that was a joke about the Bible, not gay people, so that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, it did save money. I need to save money at the moment because of the cost of living crisis. I've got a side hustle now. You know, naturally, being middle class, my side hustle is visiting my grandparents. I've got two, John and Liz. John's a bit of a character. He's awful after a drink. He told my German girlfriend that she should catch a flight home on one of our bombers. I mean, that's obviously bad. So, we don't tell him this now, but instead of giving him normal wine, we just give him 0% wine. It hasn't helped a bit. If anything, it's made it worse. You know, before they were piss mumblings, now he just says this stuff with absolute clarity. But my granny Liz as well, she's losing the plot a little bit, losing the marbles. But I've got a pretty good way of getting money out of her. Basically, what I do is I'll sit down with her. We'll be watching Midsummer Murders. She loves Midsummer Murders because everyone's white. But and I'll say, Granny Liz, I'm just nipping to the shops. Can I borrow a tenner? Take the tenner. I'll stay, sat down, and then I wait. After about 30 to 45 minutes, I'll say, "Hey, Granny Liz, I'm just nipping to the shops. Can I borrow a tenner?" Yeah, you can treat that like a 9 to 5, bless him. I know. She's a bit demented, and she keeps telling me, she's like, "Finn, I just don't know where my money's going." I said, "Granny Liz, it's these bloody politicians and this cost of living crisis and the fuel and stealing money out of elderly, vulnerable people's pockets like you. It's disgusting. It makes me sick. They should be in prison. And I'm just nipping to the shops. Can I borrow a tenner?" But yeah, the side hustle is going quite well. It's going quite well. But I've been thinking about it recently. I think like it's a good chunk of change. But if I take it like all the way, if I take it to its natural conclusion, I reckon I could get a house deposit out of them. So I've started visiting John and Liz whilst testing positive with COVID. I'm feeling pretty confident, you know. Now the winter's on my side. Yeah, you know, I don't really know how to segue onto this next bit, but I've got a theory about aliens, if you'd like to hear that. It's pretty good. Well, I'll tell you why. It's because I'm doing dry January at the moment, which means obviously I'm smoking weed now. It turns out there's a lot of dry ways to get fucked up. In fact, all of them except alcohol. But I think I've figured out aliens. I think I've sussed it. And I think it stems from how we try to communicate with them, right? Bear with me. So the most famous attempt is the Golden Records. Now, these were 2 vinyl records that were attached onto a space probe. And when these vinyl records played, it gave 100 messages in 100 different languages. It gave the precise directions to planet Earth. And we also attached 2 pictures of humans in our full anatomy. And we shot them into space. So just to be clear, we sent a load of random messages, a location, and some nudes. And then we fired it into the void. That wasn't a space probe. That was the universe's most elaborate you-up text. And that got me thinking, I think that's why we get visited by, like, the fuckboy kind of aliens. You know? Because they only come by, like, late at night, and then they'll just pick someone up at random and go straight to anal probing. I can't wait to have a drink, honestly. I used to just get happy drinking weed. You don't start thinking about that stuff. But yeah, another thing I've tried to stop doing is vaping. We got any other vapists in? Yeah, it's bad, isn't it? They're fucking addictive, man. I started because I didn't think they were addictive. I thought they can't be. They're pink, and the flavors are called things like watermelon queef. But I'm hooked now. Like every time I have a drink, I like crave a vape now. I absolutely crave them. But so I get on a night out, I'll get through a whole vape, which is like 600 puffs, I think they are, which seems very unnecessary to measure vapes in puffs. Wasn't calling cigarettes fags enough. I just don't know why the nicotine industry felt the need to do that. I was trying to think about it. I was like, what is the correlation between nicotine products and gay people? And I was like, shit. Is it because I spend a lot of my time repressing my urges towards them? Or is it because once you've had one, you kind of want more? Or is it because I've only had one in my mouth after a few drinks? I'm not sure. I'm just speculating. But yeah, so obviously from Cumbria, it's a very rural place. I was excited to move to a city because living in a rural place, I grew up, and for 20 years, I could only watch porn in 240p. I didn't have a fucking clue what I was looking at, I'm not going to lie. I'd be sat at the edge of my bed like, is that a what? Yeah, that's definitely a woman. They've just got a deep voice. It's fine. But because of that and because of the pixelation, it's led to a lot of pixel-orientated kinks. For example, I find playing Minecraft a very arousing experience. And I love it in Crime Stoppers when they pixelate out somebody's face. And like to me, when I see TV static, it just looks like a large-scale interracial orgy. Have a lovely evening. I have been